There I am. Coffee Conversations with Greg J is on. Good morning. Got my cup of coffee. Won't be before you very long. Just wanted to take the opportunity to come out and share some thoughts, share some contemplations. Got my coffee, you know, been listening to what's going on all around the world and watching for my own self out on these metropolitan streets, Long Beach, Los Angeles, Inglewood, everywhere. And man, we have a lot in front of us. I couldn't bring myself to watch the Republican debate except for the last, say, 10 minutes. And then I went on and I looked at the highlights and everything just so that I could have an understanding of what they were talking about. And, no matter what, we have a tremendous decision upon us as people here in the United States of America. All the way in the national offices, it appears that the government is broken, all the way down to the local, elections, the policymakers that affect us in these streets, our towns and villages. From a global scale, they're over there in Ukraine, now Israel. I mean, there's just so much happening in the world, and all you hear in the media, all you hear bombarding our consciousness is war, 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 war. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, when are we going to begin to return to peace, talking about peace, speaking love? When are we going to get back to that? You don't hear that. The music, violent, pornographic. You know what I'm saying? You look at social media and, pop culture from a Black perspective is, I don't know, sexualized and violent and profane. And I'm not saying you should censor those expressions of art, but I do believe that those probably belong in the underground. Remember you used to have the blue records back in the day. People who want to consume that. But what's happening is they're portraying these images to, the masses of the people to say, see, this is how they are. It's a state of cultural revolution. I don't know what the answer is. What are we going to do as a people? I know we're not a monolith in America. I'm speaking of foundational African Americans, foundational Black people, American descendants of slaves, and citizens. What are we going to do in the Black community? What do we want? How can we change our cultural consciousness in such a time as this? I'm reminded of the story in the Bible that talks about how the prophet had a dream, and in his dream, there was just a valley full of skeletons, some mighty, they had been at war and they just killed each other out there. And so the valley was strewn with skeletons. And Lord, asked the prophet, will these bones live? And the prophet answers, Lord, you know. And all of a sudden, the bones began to reassemble themselves. The sinews of their muscles began to form, and they came back alive as a mighty army ready to advocate for that which was of the day. I'm just hoping that we can rise up as a mighty army, become more self-determinate, provide global connections in business, in cultural exchange, in social circles. We are all more alike than ever, and so I just think that now is the time to kind of wake up. Contemplate deeply, on our cultural awareness. You know, as you know, being an advocate for the arts, right? This guy that they just made Speaker of the House, Johnson, I have seen him on a couple of, committee hearings and stuff as I look across the news and all of that. And, he's always been that wildcat. But I understand that now he's already going for the jugular where the arts and culture sector is concerned. I understand he's trying to defund things like the NEA and the, National Endowment for the Arts. That's like the big government, federal government arts organization. And wow, you know what? Clearly, he's not art oriented or does not see the value of arts and culture as an essential thread in the in the rope that we're building towards recovery in society, not only in America but in the world. And we need the support, to do the art, to make the movies, to do the projects. It's just what it is. And to go for that jugular says otherwise. And I would encourage all of you. I'm going to begin to post some information about it because I'm seeing emails coming from Californians for the Arts, Arts for LA, and other advocacy groups as they begin to respond to this news that folks in power up there in Washington, D.C. want to defund the arts. That is just crazy, It's not good. Hey, thank you for coming out to the Long Beach Rising. Long Beach Rising was a great exhibit that we had in downtown Long Beach. And I appreciate everyone who came through to see the panels that were created in the days after the murder of George Floyd. I'm so happy today to announce Dream Creator Studio is doing Put the Needle on the Record. Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. It's a mixed media art exhibit that will feature music, film, digital media expressions. And we'll be announcing more of the itinerary there as it becomes available, but opening soon and going on through the holidays. Put the needle on the record. I'm sure it's going to be on Eventbrite probably by the end of the day. And you've probably already seen the flyers posted across our social media. All right, y'all. Like I said, I didn't want to be before you long. I'm just contemplating, when do we begin to return to speaking peace? When do we return to speaking peace, creativity? It's a tough one out here. I'm going to leave you with a little film here. This is just a snippet of a film, a short film that I made chronicling Miss Rhonda and I's journey to the slave river and the slave dungeons out there in Ghana, West Africa. And I'm going to show you a sliver of it because I want to invite you to screenings of this entire mini documentary. A cultural essay is what we call it. And we're going to have panel discussions and everything like that. So those are the things that are happening around here. So more on that. It's my coffee. So good. ColumbusOnCoffeeCompany.com. All right. Enjoy. J. Live from Cape Coast. There's Rhonda.
Hi.
So we're on the bus now. We're headed to what we consider to be the pinnacle of this experience. Yes, we're here for business and all of that. And we're on our way to the slave market in Cape Coast, Ghana. And we're going to end up at the slave dungeons. And so this is, Rhonda calls it a pilgrimage. And this is very, very essential to our being. Very serious and somber in my heart right now as we have just rolled out from the hotel to head on down to the slave market. My mind is completely open to whoever that person was that came through a slave castle that dots the entire west coast of the continent of Africa and made it across the Middle Passage and spawned the generations that led to me. Somebody, a blood relative, survived what we were about to see. Survived, and generation after generation made me.
We don't know anything else. We know that we are because they were, you know. And so I go in the spirit and the essence of that, and I'm just looking forward to making that connection. I have a cloth that I'm taking with me that will only be worn for this journey and this day, you know. And when I get back home, I'm going to put this away, just in memory of this experience and in honor of that ancestor who I will never, know exactly who they are, but I know that they exist because I am. So, in the memory of that, I do this. And for me, my choice is either to wear red for the blood or purple, which represents royalty. And I prayed about it. Last night was just a really quiet, somber night for me, and then this morning, I heard clearly in my spirit that your ancestors have already worn the red bloodshed. You return in the spirit of victory and royalty in the purple linen. And so that's what's going on. I'm excited about it.
Yes, we are because they were. That's giving you just a snippet of our mini documentary, our cultural essay. We're going to be holding screenings and talks surrounding the entire piece as we travel in the footsteps of our ancestors as they came through captivity, through the slave dungeons, through the Middle Passage to our being, all the way to where we are now, who we are. All right. Coffee Conversations is where we have culturally relevant conversations from a global perspective. It is available on Facebook. There is a Facebook page, Coffee Conversations with Greg J. It's on Hannibal Media Group. It's on Beach City Perspective, Beach City Radio. Just look it up, Coffee Conversations with Greg J. We do repurpose the audio, put it out there as a podcast wherever you get your favorite podcast, and that's located at Apple, Google, iHeart, Spotify, Spreaker, just wherever. Just type it in, Coffee Conversations with Greg J. Got a few guests coming up in the coming days and a few, exhibitions hopefully you've enjoyed. Siddiqui Bakari, who was here the other day to discuss the AI and technology and our spiritual essence. Hope you just saw the interview with Jerry Johnson from the African Ancestral Wall. We got Daryl James coming, who's an author, a scholar, a journalist. We're going to talk more about the making of hip hop. There's just so many topics and everything we'd like to go in. We would love your support. Keep following us. Like and subscribe if you're looking on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Even just make a blessing to us to support the work as we grow as an independent media utilizing digital technologies. But most of all, love one another. Love one another. Love one another. Peace and blessings.